The dark secrets of narcissists. They don't want you to know. There are secrets hidden in the hearts of narcissists, dark truths they hope you never discover. On the surface, they may seem confident, charming, even irresistible, but behind the mask lies a very different reality. Today, we will pull back that mask and reveal the disturbing patterns of narcissistic behavior, the ones that destroy relationships and leave you questioning your own worth. This is not just theory, it is lived experience for countless people who found themselves trapped in relationships with narcissists. If you have ever felt confused, manipulated, or drained by someone who claimed to love you, this message is for you, because narcissists thrive on secrecy, and once you see their behavior clearly, their power over you begins to fade. A narcissist rarely shows their true self in the beginning. They often present as magnetic, fascinating, and attentive. They study you, mirror your desires, and make you feel like you've found the perfect partner. This stage is intoxicating, but it is also calculated. It is the bait of a trap designed to pull you into their world and keep you hooked. The first dark secret is that their charm is not genuine. It is a performance. Narcissists understand that admiration is their lifeline. They crave it the way most people crave love. That early attention you received wasn't about connection. It was about securing control. They wanted to ensure that you would see them as larger than life, someone you couldn't easily let go of. Once the admiration is secured, the mask begins to slip. You may start to notice small cracks, sarcastic remarks, dismissive gestures, or moments of coldness. At first, you dismiss them, convincing yourself it's stress or miscommunication. But slowly, those cracks widen, and the warmth you once felt begins to disappear, replaced by criticism and confusion. Another secret narcissists don't want you to know is how fragile they really are inside. Their arrogance and grandiosity are only masks covering deep insecurity. They cannot tolerate the thought of being ordinary, so they construct elaborate illusions of superiority. This makes them hypersensitive to criticism, unable to handle even the smallest threat to their image. When you confront them with accountability, their response is rarely humble. Instead, they react with anger, denial, or blame shifting. This is because admitting fault would shatter the carefully constructed identity they depend on. So instead, they turn the spotlight back on you, making you feel like you are the problem. This tactic is known as gaslighting. Gaslighting is one of their most destructive weapons. They distort your reality, convincing you that what you saw, heard, or felt is not true. Over time, you begin to question your own memory, your own sanity. This keeps you dependent on the narcissist for validation because you feel unsure of yourself. It is a subtle but powerful form of control. Another secret lies in the way narcissists handle intimacy. To them, closeness is not about love but about power. They may overwhelm you with affection one day and withdraw the next. This unpredictable push and pull keeps you hooked, always chasing the version of them that once made you feel so alive. It is not love, it is manipulation. Narcissists also thrive on comparison. They may remind you of their exes, boast about admirers, or suggest you are not measuring up. These comparisons are designed to make you insecure, to push you into working harder for their approval. They keep you competing for a prize that was never meant to be yours in the first place, genuine love. They also weaponize silence. When you upset them, instead of having a conversation, they may withdraw, ignoring your calls or affection. This silent treatment is punishment. It conditions you to avoid conflict at all costs, because you fear the cold emptiness that follows. It's not just silence, it's emotional abandonment used to control you. Narcissists don't want you to know how transactional their affection is. When they shower you with praise, it's not a gift, it's an investment. They expect something in return: loyalty, admiration, submission. And when you fail to deliver, the affection is withdrawn. This constant shift between reward and punishment is what keeps you trapped. Another dark secret is that narcissists often envy you. Even if they seem confident, they are deeply threatened by your strengths. They may mock your accomplishments, sabotage your success, or take credit for your ideas. They cannot stand to see you shine, because your light threatens the fragile illusion of superiority they cling to. When jealousy consumes them, they often disguise it as criticism. Instead of supporting your dreams, they nitpick, discourage, or belittle you. Over time, you may begin to shrink yourself, dimming your light so as not to upset them. This is exactly what they want, because a diminished you is easier to control and less of a threat. A narcissist's need for control extends to every part of your life. They may subtly influence your friendships, your family connections, even your work. By isolating you from other sources of support, they become your primary voice, the one you rely on most. Once you are isolated, their dominance is almost complete, and escape feels impossible. Narcissists also don't want you to know how much they rely on others to define their worth. Without admiration, their sense of self collapses. This dependency makes them constantly seek validation, not because they love people deeply, but because they fear the emptiness inside. Their relationships are less about connection and more about filling that internal void. Another secret is how they use projection. Instead of admitting their flaws, they accuse you of them. If they are lying, they accuse you of dishonesty. If they are unfaithful, they hint that you might be cheating. This reversal keeps you defensive and distracted, while they continue their behavior unchecked. It's a cruel way of escaping responsibility. You may also notice that narcissists are addicted to drama. Calm, stable love feels boring to them, so they manufacture chaos, arguments, jealousy, or crises. This turbulence keeps the relationship intense but exhausting. For you, it feels like an endless roller coaster, but for them, it's proof they still control your emotions and keep your attention. Narcissists are also skilled at wearing masks for different audiences. To friends and family, they may appear charming and supportive, while in private, they show cruelty and manipulation. This duality isolates you further because when you try to explain their behavior, others may not believe you. The mask protects their image while leaving you doubting yourself. A devastating secret is their inability to experience genuine empathy. They may imitate caring behaviors when it benefits them, but true compassion requires seeing others as equals, and narcissists resist this. They see others as tools, not as whole people with needs. This lack of empathy is what makes their patterns so harmful and confusing for their partners. They also exploit forgiveness. When caught in a lie or harmful act, they may apologize, sometimes even with tears. But the apology is rarely sincere. It's a tactic to reset the dynamic and regain control. Once you forgive, the cycle begins again. Over time, you realize the apologies are empty, designed only to keep you from leaving. Another secret is their obsession with control of narrative. They are storytellers, shaping how others see them and you. If you begin to resist or expose them, they may smear your reputation, portraying themselves as the victim. This manipulation of perception is powerful because it leaves you silenced while they maintain their carefully curated image. Narcissists don't want you to know how much they fear abandonment. Beneath the arrogance lies a fragile self terrified of rejection. Ironically, their behaviors often drive people away, but they refuse to see the connection. Instead, they cling tighter or lash out harder, creating the very loneliness they fear. Their own patterns become their prison. They are also masters of future faking. At the start, they may paint beautiful visions of a shared future marriage, children, adventures. These promises feel intoxicating, pulling you deeper into their orbit. But once you are committed, those dreams often evaporate. The promises were not genuine. They were hooks to keep you invested in the relationship. Another disturbing truth is their selective memory. They may forget their cruel words, but remember your smallest mistakes. This imbalance keeps you in a state of guilt and apology. While they remain untouchable, they rewrite history in their favor, ensuring you always feel like the one at fault, even when the evidence says otherwise. Narcissists also thrive on making you question your identity. They may mock your passions, belittle your hobbies, or dismiss your values. Over time, you begin to lose confidence in yourself, becoming a shadow of the vibrant person you once were. This erosion of identity makes you more compliant, more willing to live in their shadow. Another hidden truth is their addiction to admiration from multiple sources. Even if they are in a relationship, they may flirt, seek validation, or cultivate admirers online. For them, loyalty is expected from you but rarely practiced by them. Their hunger for admiration is bottomless, and no single partner can ever fully satisfy it. Narcissists often hide their deep need for control through subtle manipulation. They may disguise control as concern, questioning where you go, who you see, or what you wear. On the surface, it seems protective, but underneath, it's about ownership. The goal is to limit your independence until you revolve entirely around them. They also exploit your compassion. When confronted, they may play the victim, bringing up childhood trauma or personal struggles. While these stories may hold truth, they are often used as shields to avoid accountability. Your empathy becomes a tool for them, making you hesitate to hold boundaries out of guilt or fear of hurting them. Finally, narcissists don't want you to know that nothing you do will ever be enough. No amount of love, sacrifice, or patience can fill the emptiness they carry. This truth is painful because it means the cycle is endless. Only when you see this clearly can you begin to release yourself from the grip of their manipulation. Narcissists also live by double standards. They demand loyalty, yet betray it. They demand respect, yet show contempt. They expect honesty, yet lie with ease. Living under these double standards wears you down, because no matter how much you give, you are measured by rules that they themselves never follow. The hypocrisy is endless, and it's designed to keep you off balance. Another secret is how much they depend on your silence. They count on you not sharing your pain with others, because exposure threatens their image. That's why they may discourage you from speaking to friends or family. Silence protects them. But when you break that silence and share your truth, the grip of their control begins to weaken. Narcissists also use timing as a weapon. They may choose the worst possible moments to create conflict: before an important event, after you've had a long day, or when you're most vulnerable. This ensures you're too drained to fight back. It's calculated cruelty, designed to maximize your exhaustion and minimize your resistance. They also rely on cycles. The abuse is rarely constant. It comes in waves. There are moments of tenderness, followed by withdrawal, then bursts of cruelty, then apologies. These cycles condition you to stay, because the brief moments of kindness feel like hope, but the pattern is intentional, keeping you hooked to a cycle that never truly changes. Another disturbing truth is how narcissists see relationships as possessions. To them, you're not an equal partner, you're a prize they own. This explains why even after discarding someone, they often return, not out of love, but because they still believe they have a claim. It's not affection, it's ownership, and it strips away your freedom. Narcissists also despise accountability. If confronted, they may twist your words, distract with unrelated issues, or erupt with rage. Anything to avoid responsibility. Accountability threatens their fragile self-image, and so they fight it with every tool available. The more you push, the more they resist, proving how fragile their sense of self truly is. Another secret is how they see kindness as weakness. Acts of compassion, patience, or forgiveness are not appreciated. They're exploited. To a narcissist, your empathy is a resource to be drained, not a gift to be cherished. This makes relationships deeply unbalanced, because what you offer in love is taken as opportunity for control. They also fear being exposed. Beneath their bravado lies constant paranoia that someone will see through the mask. This fear drives much of their cruelty, because controlling others feels safer than facing their own flaws. They hide behind arrogance, but inside they are terrified of being ordinary, rejected, or unworthy. Narcissists also hide how empty they often feel. Without admiration, without chaos, without someone to reflect their image back to them, they feel hollow. This emptiness is unbearable to them, so they constantly chase distractions, new relationships, new attention, new drama, but nothing fills the void, and so the cycle repeats endlessly. Another truth they conceal is their dependency on power. For most people, love is about sharing. For narcissists, love is about control. If they cannot control you, they feel threatened. And so every act of rebellion, every assertion of independence, sparks their anger. The need for power overshadows any possibility of mutual care. They also practice selective generosity. They may give grand gifts, but these gifts are not truly selfless. They are investments, designed to impress others or to hold power over you. When generosity comes with strings attached, it isn't kindness, it's manipulation. The gift becomes a reminder of what you owe rather than what you are worth. Another dark secret is the way they erase your achievements. If you succeed, they minimize it. If you shine, they shift the spotlight back to themselves. This constant undermining ensures that your victories never threaten their fragile sense of superiority. Over time, you may stop celebrating yourself altogether, trained to stay small in their shadow. Narcissists also resist emotional depth. Conversations about fear, hope, or vulnerability feel threatening to them. They may deflect, mock, or shut down entirely. This leaves you feeling alone, even when you are physically together. The refusal to engage in emotional intimacy is not because you lack value. It's because they fear the mirror of truth. They are also addicted to admiration from strangers. Social media becomes a stage. Compliments from outsiders fuel their ego, and your quiet loyalty is overlooked. This creates a constant tension, as though you're competing with a world of admirers. But the truth is, no amount of attention will ever satisfy their hunger. It is endless. Another secret is how they recycle behaviors. You may think their unique treatment of you is special, but often, they repeat the same cycle with every partner. The words, the promises, the tactics, they've used them before and will use them again. Realizing this helps you see that it was never about you, but about their pattern. Narcissists also play on hope. They give you glimpses of who they pretended to be at the start, making you believe that version can return. But that person was never real. It was an illusion. Holding on to hope keeps you trapped, always waiting for a change that will never truly come. It's hope that binds you, not love. They also exploit your fear of loneliness. They may convince you that no one else will love you the way they do, or that you're too broken to find better. These lies are designed to keep you small, to keep you from walking away. The truth is, you are never as alone as they want you to believe. Another secret is how they fear your healing. If you grow stronger, if you find support, if you begin to see through their tactics, their power weakens. That's why they may sabotage your self-care, mock your therapy, or discourage your independence. Your growth threatens their control, and so they resist it at every turn. The darkest truth of all is that narcissists do not seek love as we know it. They seek admiration, obedience, and power. This doesn't mean you are unlovable. It means they are incapable of offering the love you deserve. Recognizing this frees you from the endless cycle of trying to fix what was never yours to fix. And so the conclusion is this: the secrets of narcissists lose power once you bring them to light. Their charm, their manipulation, their cruelty, none of it defines you. You are not the problem, and you are not broken. You deserve a love rooted in respect, empathy, and truth. By seeing clearly, you begin the journey back to yourself, stronger and free.